Got to get my eyes checked out on that one. Sorry, guys. Here we are in game number 3. We've moved over to Metropolis. Got the good luck, have fun, the have fun, good game, good luck coming out of these players. We've got Fraer starting at the 3 o'clock position as the green Protoss. His opponent up 2-0, and I think just the way I want to describe Kaz is just solid. You know, he looks like one of those monstrous opponents that there's seemingly no weakness. So unless Fraer was able to take it back to his lab and do some analysis on him between games, he's up against it here in game number 2.
Yeah, I agree.
Game number 3, excuse me.
Okay, yeah, indeed. So I agree with you in how you're saying it, because Kas doesn't really lose online to many people. And if he does, it's by somebody exploiting his play, which may be another approach that Fraer can take. If he can deny scouting, I've seen people abuse Kas in terms of, if he can't scout you, what happens if you take 3 Nexus really early on? You know, something along those lines, if you are not capable in playing in a straight-up fight against him. So that may be something Fraer may choose to do as well, but we just seem to be staring down at what Fraer can do, and that just shows the strength of Kas.
Yeah, and, you know, I don't want to paint Fraer as a bad player at all. I actually think he's playing very, very well, and he's hitting his timings, he's hitting his builds very well, but Kaz is always, you know, 10 to 15% ahead on everything. Upgrade speed, expansion speed, and, you know, just army size as well as income. He has additional workers as well. It's like the guy has a chrono boost on everything he does.
And I love what Kas is doing in this game. He's actually taken a gas, and this has actually been one of Kas's weaknesses, especially at live events. The opportunities I've had the chance to cast him, is that exactly what I said before, is that people exploit his play because he's too predictable. But upon seeing Kas take a refinery and a second, second barrage coming down, is that he is now shoving that image of his own play, that solid image we just described, crumbling it up and throwing it outside and saying, watch this. Because now he's about to do something crazy, which could catch his opponent trying to cut corners.
And as we always talk about the mentality of a best of 5, a 5-game series, game number 3, especially when you're up 2-0, is a fantastic time to throw out a build like this. Because, you know, you do something quick and dirty, you either win or you lose, and, you know, you've had enough of an advantage up to this point that if it doesn't work and you don't get a quick win, you can revert back to, you know, what solid play got you this far.
And let's have a look at what corners potentially Fraer could cut. Number 1 is that he hasn't scouted yet, which is a pretty big one. And he is starting to move out now to get down his Nexus off 1 gateway. How long does it take him to actually throw down additional gateways? Does he go roam robotics facility early on here? Or does he try to go Twilight Castle or anything along these lines? What is he going to do to try and play? Or will he play straight up on a regular timing? The Zealot is going to make its way to the natural, and we'll see, or if it should see, the reactor on the barracks if it gets up there. But the Marines move down and, Fraer, yeah, he's going to go.
Oh, he's actually going to drive up, and looks like he should be able to get into the main base, dancing back and forth. He's got the reactor on the first barracks, and yes, he does spot the second barracks, and he sees everything actually moving forward. So Fraer got as good of scouting as he could have wanted here in game number 3.
He even spotted the factory. I can't believe Kas threw down the factory as the Zealot was dying. He could have waited an extra second. And, you know, if he was watching the Zealot, even if he wasn't, if he looks back at Kas's base and sees a 3rd structure being made, it's not going to be a 3rd barracks, not this late. And especially, that's definitely going to be a factory. So what we're seeing out here by Kas is going to be 2 things. One of 2 things. It's either going to be straight to Medivacs and just a very simple Marine Medivac stim attack, or it can be tanks. There's 2 different options here for Kas to choose from. Either way, Fraer knows, and that was actually great information to get that.
Absolutely. So in response, just getting a solid gateway army so that he can live this timing. He's going up to 4 gateways. He's got a few sentries out, going to let them build up energy. Kaz, meanwhile, got an SCV all the way up the ramp into the main base, so he spotted what's coming out in response. And look at this, a robotics facility actually coming out for Fraer.
Yeah, I suppose he's reading into this really well. It can be, of course, for an observer, but if he knows that tanks are going to come, it could be for an immortal. But to be honest, I don't expect to see an immortal, not knowing that there's a bioground on the floor. I mean, a bioforce on the floor, sorry, and also that Stimpak's in the way. The immortal will never ever reach the back of that army to hit any tanks. So that most likely is to go straight up into an observer, and with the gases coming down, potentially robotics bay as well. Because imagine this, if he gets robotics Bay and Colossus out, What is Kas going to do? Nada.
Do you think Kas is going to wait that long to allow him to actually get out to Colossus?
No. I mean, if somehow that Fraer can stall, maybe.
Right.
Because, I mean, that's the way to win, is to get Colossus out. And there it is actually coming out, but Kas won't let that. As you said, Stim is done, tanks are on the way, and Medivac too, and Kas has to leave within the next minute. I mean, combat shields are on the way, so I suppose he'll wait and move out halfway through that completing. But if he spends all his chrono boost well, I doubt he'll get Thermal Lance, but he could squeeze a Colossus out maybe.
Right, and this is a really surprising move in my eyes from Kas. He's actually loading up 8 Marines and going for a drop while leaving the majority of his army in his main base. I thought, you know, a 1-base attack like this, I thought he would do it solid altogether, but looks like he's trying to do a little bit of harassment here.
Yeah, and it's picked up by a Stalker, actually, which is the worst-case scenario here for Kas. It's spotted, which means the units will be in preparation to be warped in at the back here. And the multi-attack here won't really work as well, unless it's there to keep Stalkers away from the front. But either way, Kas is bringing SCVs with this chill.
So clearly going to be going all in. He's left just a few SCVs mining gas and 1 mule, and those mules, oh man, they can mine quite a bit, Apollo.
They can, so he leaves in gas and mines with mules, and now the SCVs are making their way across with the Marines. Combat shield almost done, seconds away from being done. The Medivac was pushed away outside the main base once again, and Fraer now, Colossus on the way. He needs to buy time. These force fields have to hold Kas off. Not really accept the attack. If he accepts the attack, that means he could die before Colossus even come out.
Why is he attacking her? The Colossus was on the way. The Colossus is now out, but the army has completely been erased, trying to get it from some good snipes here. But I think this game is over. He's got a single Colossus to micro back and forth, and that was just a blunder by Fraer.
Yeah, he shouldn't have taken the attack. It always looks juicy to cut up a force, but you have to think about the plan. What is the plan here? It is Colossus. Call the tank pickup for the Colossus, and GG called. And